Oh. Oh my goodness, it's not supposed to be live. Look at that. Gee, Facebook is such a sweetheart. Thing popped off of its stand into the floor, and I turned it off, and here it is. Wow. Well, hi everybody. Surprise. I'm still adjusting cameras and stuff. Oh my goodness, 50 people on here. So that probably means there's 100. Surprise, surprise. Well, that's never happened to me before. What to do when you have something awkward happen? Just smile. Real big. Okay, I'm pulling myself back together here. So I put out a little notice to you all that I would be coming on live. So here I is. And I clean my glasses, which I do this live sometimes anyway, but everything's live today. Okay, here we go. All right, now we got something crazy going on with the Russian Schumann resonance. Can y'all hear me okay? Everything fine? Any other weird things happening? Oh my goodness. Never a dull moment. No, it's still done. That's not looking right. Hang on just a minute. Let me fiddle with this some more, which is usually stuff I do before I come on. But today, I don't get that luxury. My little phone holder popped and broke, and then the phone went flying, and I tried to turn the live off, but apparently Facebook decided to leave it on. So here we are. Let me finish arranging some things. Hey everybody, it's been a long time. It has been a long time. I think the last live chat I did was like the 17th of June or something like that. Well, we've got some stuff going on today that I had to come on and talk to you about. This is pretty crazy. All right, you ready? Let's look quick. Oh, and the little cover off my phone, I had to take it off so it will sort of fit in the phone stand, but it's not fitting very good. Oh, you know what we ought to do? I ought to turn on my twinkle lights. You're probably seeing my messy studio here. Okay, we got some twinkle lights on now. Not that you can really see them, but there they are. Okay. All right, here we go. This is what I want you to see. Look at this thing. I'm going to flip off this light so it's not reflecting in the image you're seeing. This is, of course, the Russian Schumann resonance spectrograph, or spectrogram, depends on what it decides to call it that week. And this is us right here. Check that out. This is extraordinary. I'm trying to enlarge it a little more. There we go. Look at that thing. Look at the white at the bottom. Look at the white mingledy stuff in the middle. Look at what almost is a black spike right there, but it doesn't cleanly continue all the way through. So I don't know if we can really call it that, but it sure is close. This is what's crazy. All right, y'all remember, the higher the numbers, the more intense the frequencies. And on the Russian Schumann, whoops, it's not as high normally as Kumiana and some of the other alternative charts, because theirs are calibrated to go higher if they need to. But the cap on this, here's the hertz over here, is 40, and that's at the bottom. It's counterintuitive. It is backwards. The least, or the smallest frequency, I need something to prop my hand on here. Hang on a minute. Let's see if I can find something so it'll be stiller. There we go. The least, the lowest frequency is at the top of the chart, 0. And 40 is at the bottom. Okay, we've had some whiteout spikes recently, but now let's take a look. Let me slide my books over here. Look at that. See all that white right at the bottom? That is 40 and above. We don't know how far that white goes because it is going all the way through the bottom. We don't know how far it goes. This is super high frequency. This is major. Now, how major is it? I did a little teeny bit of preparation. Let's go look, shall we? First of all, let's just go ahead and look at the whole chart before we leave this live page. There's nothing happening anywhere else that appears to be outstanding, except I want you to see that this has moved over into, okay, this is noon Eastern Standard Time, 0, basically, okay? We are, actually that would be 1 in Eastern Standard Time because of daylight savings time. In Russian, Tomsk, Russia time, this is UTC +7, okay? Gets complicated. All right, so this is 2:03. It is currently 3:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is New York City time, which is my time, though I do not live in New York City. Okay? And it looks like we got more white happening here. And then there's that kind of black-looking spike thing. So this whiteout, which suddenly appeared, stretches from, okay, brain translate, 12, this is 1. So from about noon, no, stop. Ah! Okay, this is 1. Yeah, so about noon Eastern Standard Time, all the way to about 3:30. Okay, that's a long time. And this white has been going on, apparently, that entire time. Now, tell you the truth, I fell asleep. Very weird. Totally fell out for probably an hour or two. I'm not even sure. This evidently hit me hard. I don't know about you all, but I see nothing else on the charts that explains my falling asleep like I did. I mean, Chipper was in my lap, Sugar was on her little ottoman, and we all passed out and were gone for an hour or two and came back. And I was like, oh my goodness, what's happening? What's happening? Why am I feeling this way? Is there something on the energies? And I went and looked. And at that point, I'm kind of blurry. I don't know if this was even showing at that point. It's like all of a sudden it just showed up. That is intense. This means this is 40 hertz and above. Now, just real quick, while we're still here, I want to show you something. It's caught up a little bit, but notice this shows nothing. This shows nothing happening. Just like those spikes are not even there. They also, earlier, were not registering all the way up to the present time. Looks like it's picked up a little bit, but this is going downhill instead of up. We got a very odd spike downwards in the red. And that's supposed to be amplitude right there. This is the frequencies reading. And the Q factor is spiking, but, oh, sorry, my hand knocked it out of focus. The Q factor is spiking a wee bit, but not much. And there's nothing going on unusual that I can see on the electromagnetic background level. But this is very, very unusual, definitely. Now, while we're here, this whiteout area, which is a mingled with white, red, orange, a little gold. Hold on, see if I can be coordinated enough to pull this off while holding everything in my hand. Okay, you know I'm an artist, so I have all kinds of gizmos around here. If I can get it to cooperate with me. Right here, where the white is, starts about here at 16 hertz. And it goes down to about 22 hertz. All right, 16 to 22. I'm gonna make a note of that. 16 to 22, because we're gonna look over here at the hertz chart. Now, this clearly is 40 and above. So now, some of you are probably thinking, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? That's such a huge question, y'all. If you want me to answer you in the future, be a little more specific. That will help me out. Now, there's nothing spectacular going on in Kumiana, and yet there is. So let's look at it really fast, and then we'll go look at the meanings of the Schumann chart frequencies, which is what I'm really interested in because of this extremely high, very unusual hertz cycle represented. Okay, well, come on, phone, work with me. Goodness, well, that'll have to do. I can barely hold it because it's so slick. You know, these iPhones are like glass, and I've got the case taken off of it. This is too much activity up here. You see, this is Kumiana. This is the electrical field, it says. This is geophone electric field. This one is usually understated. These are spiking top to bottom with red, yellow, and white, which you can see right up here what that means. There's the scale. We've got really high frequencies represented, and they're spanning all the way from the top to the bottom, all the way past 14,000 hertz, okay? We'll just say 1,400 hertz, going by the bottom scale. Now, look at this. This is the other Kumiana chart that we look at the most because it's more expressive. It shows more. Look at all these spikes going out the top of 100 hertz, but only in the greenish white golden colors, not the red. The red is going to about 60 hertz, and hertz are on the right of the scale, and you can see that. There you go. Now, that's powerful, but we have seen a lot more powerful, but right now, it's like the charts are just dumbed down, this one in particular, and that's my personal thoughts on the matter, because this is normally the understated one. When you would see this, normally you would be seeing solid red out the top and the bottom, but that's not what's showing up here. But check out the geophone, that hot pink up there. This is intense, but I think it's more intense than it's showing. Okay. That's enough for that. Let's now take a look here. I have swimming pool hair today, by the way. I have a little personal pool here, and I've been enjoying it in this super hot weather. It's like supposed to be 95 degrees Fahrenheit true temperature, and the heat index is way up above that. It's really cool in my house, so but I enjoy going out some. So I've got swimming pool hair. I'm not going to bother with it if I'm going to be going back into the pool. All right, let's turn this around real quick. I want to show you this pretty fast. All right, do you see this purple? This right here, it's kind of washed out, but that's purple. That is spiking way up and above the others. And that in this chart is called ULF noise, 10 hertz. That's not the first Schumann resonance, but I don't see the first Schumann resonance clearly marked on this chart at all. I think this is pretty close to that, and it's showing a lot of activity right there. That is worth noting, and I apologize for the fumbling around here. Okay, so for those of you who may be just joining, we are looking at a really, really funky thing that's going on the Russian spectrograph Schumann resonance, and we'll look at it real quick again before we go and look and see what these hertz mean. And I will give you the specifics. You see the white is at the bottom. Those of you who are new, that is 40 hertz and above. We don't know how far beyond the chart it goes. Over here is where you find the hertz on the spectrograph. They are on the far left. 0 is at the top, and the highest is at the bottom at 40. This reading is 40 and higher. So this is intense. All right. Let me see if I can get this put back in its little holder. Without falling it, snapping it on me again. All righty. Let's go over here. I got some images ready for you. As far as especially the Russian Schumann. Got this loose again. You know, I'm very high tech. All right, here we go. Here are the colors that relate to this. And when we look at the chart, and I hope you all have made some copies of this for yourselves or saved them on your phone, because I can't show them all the time. And I can't get them to show up at the top of the page either. Our beloved platform is not working with me here. What a surprise. It's all right. They can't stop us. Well, maybe they could, but hopefully they won't. So here we are, and look at the colors. We have red represented, orange, gold. Of course, the background is blue. And we have white also. All these are showing up on the newest Schumann chart reading. Okay? And here it is again. This is what it's looking like. Crazy. So what does this mean in this case? What does this mean? How does that interpret? This is a little complicated, so hang in here with me. I pulled up something here to show us. Okay, here we go. I totally lost it. Here, back. I may have to break down and get some more tools. Okay, here we go. I will read this to you because it's too small to fit all inside the camera at once. These are the frequencies represented on the Schumann. There's your colors, but the frequencies that I showed you over to the left over here parallel and correlate to our brain frequencies. When this is high, like this white here at the bottom, which is 40 plus, when that is high, your brain waves are probably spiking also. So let's look at what this means in this case. Some of you may feel anxiety, and I am so sorry. I don't like anxiety at all. One of the things I would really encourage you to do if you're feeling anxiety is do the heart-brain coherence meditation. And let's do that before we get off of here today in our chat. It's very simple. It only takes 3 actual minutes, and it can shift everything for you. It gives your brain, which is grand central for your body, for your emotions, everything. It gives your brain the information it needs out of the quantum field of possibilities, because it hooks the brain and the heart together, the torus field. So I would encourage you all to remember and do it until you know how to do it wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Because it only takes 3 minutes, and it can make all the difference in the world. You can go from anxiety to peace in 3 minutes. Your heart rate can slow down in 3 minutes. Your heart irregularity can level out in 3 minutes. You can have aha moments and revelations in 3 minutes. It is that powerful because it hooks you up into the quantum field of possibilities, which is unlimited. So when you're feeling this stuff, remember the heart-brain coherence meditation, and we will do it at the end here, okay? So what are we dealing with right now? Let me try and prop ourselves here. Okay. This correlates to your brain waves, and I've put this on the page numerous times. It is in the Schumann kit, which is in the featured post at the top of the page. The Schumann kit is loaded with a lot of things if you want to do research and understand more. Delta, 0 hertz to 4 hertz. This occurs in deep dreamless sleep. It's associated with drowsiness. So if that's where the frequencies are hanging out on the Schumann chart, this thing, if that's where you're seeing it up towards the top, in this case, there's not much up at the very top going on. But here there was a lot at the top going on. But right now, you're probably not feeling the effects of delta waves that much. It's also deep healing sleep. Okay. Theta is 4 hertz to 8 hertz. We also, hold on, we don't have too much of that represented. What we have is in the green, just barely. Okay? And you can do this on your own if you hold on to these charts that I've given you. So that occurs in the first sleep stage and during meditation, associated with drowsiness, dreaming, and flow states. Flow states are powerful. Look them up and check them out. Okay, alpha waves occur 8 hertz to 12 hertz. This occurs in relaxed alertness in adults. It is associated with daydreaminess. I kind of live there. Children live in this state. Creatives tend to live more in this state too. Relaxation and reflection happens in alpha. Are you all still with me? Are you getting this? This applies directly to you. This totally will help you understand what you're feeling and why you may be feeling it. So this is real practical stuff. And today's charts are just bonkers in the Russian Schumann resonance. Okay, this is definitely represented in what we got going on today. But the most intense we'll get to at the very end because it's the highest. So beta is 12 hertz to 30. This occurs during a highly active processing, concentration, and learning. The slow low beta is 12 to 17 hertz. Normal alert information processing. This is where most adults live during daytime. Fast high beta, 17 to 30 hertz. It's heightened alert, fight or flight, feelings of anxiety. Okay, and we looked at this. That 16 to 22 hertz is represented right here. That's 16 to 22 hertz we looked at earlier. Okay, so beta is 12 to 30. This is where the centralized whiteout mixed with red, orange, and gold is represented on the chart today in that middle section. So if you're feeling anxiety, don't be surprised. Just take some deep breaths and realize your brain is dealing with some frequencies that are pretty high that it's not used to. Okay, gamma. This is huge. Gamma waves are from 30 hertz to 100 hertz. This occurs more rarely and is associated with simultaneously processing information in both brain hemispheres during a waking state. Expanded consciousness and insight happens here. And big hugs are not from there. That's from me. I cut off the bottom of this. All right. 30 to 100 hertz. And here we are, beloved. There it is. This is around 40 hertz. This is whiteout right now, and it's been going on for almost 3 hours. This is where we are right now. I don't know how you're feeling. Now that I'm awake, I'm feeling pretty good. But I was knocked out for a while. I didn't really even choose to fall asleep. It just sort of happened while I was sitting in my chair with Chipper. And you all know Chipper, most of you. He's probably, I don't know where he is. He has not, he'll probably show up during the heart-brain coherence meditation. This is where we are, beloved, 40 hertz and above, because this is probably going out the bottom of this chart, but we just don't know how far it's going because it doesn't show below that. This is a near black spike, but it's not true because it doesn't continue clearly all the way through to the top, but it's pretty darn close. So this may be a timeline shift also. That may have happened while I was asleep. Or I'm wondering if many of you have had a little unexpected nap today. It just came upon you. Okay, so let's talk about this. What does this mean to us? What do readings like this do to us in this kind of a situation? Well, they're major. They're very big. This is huge. And not only that, it's extraordinary, the way it's showing up on the charts. This is not the way it normally looks on the Russian Schumann chart. And it's really, I think it's life-changing stuff. I think with this high photonic energy coming in, and photonic just means light, intense light, that's how you activate your DNA. That's how you change your DNA. So right now, our DNA is being significantly upgraded. Doesn't matter where you are on the earth, this is traveling around. And like I've shown you all before, the Schumann resonance goes in a wave. It goes across from the crust of the earth to the ionic sphere, which is at the very top of our atmosphere. And I don't have my little drawing nearby, but you get the gist. So it's moving everywhere. It will be all over the earth. and we're all going to experience it to one degree or the other, depending on how sensitive you are and how elevated your progress is how hard it may hit you. I've spent a whole lot of time in prayer and meditation. In my younger days, I used to spend approximately 4 to 5 hours a day. I did that for years. My development should be pretty high up there, but it knocked me out. I was sound asleep. So I will very much be interested to find out how this is affecting you all. Is this good? Yes. Interesting. It's chosen what we in America call the 4th of July. This is our Independence Day. And here we're being blasted with intense energy, all of us around the world. Here on Independence Day, and of course here it's celebrated with fireworks and hamburgers and hot dogs and cookouts and family gatherings and all kinds of sports and things like that. But here we are, and it's high energy, and it's odd looking energy. I have seen a little bit of white at the very bottom of the chart, which is the highest frequency before, but it was tiny. I don't believe I've ever seen it with this much at the bottom of the chart as we're seeing now. I could be mistaken, but I don't think I am. This is unusual and extraordinary. So I'm going to look and see if anybody is saying anything. There we go. Oh, I couldn't even see your comments until now. Okay. You can hear me. Okay, that's good. Gary says, I've been wide awake and super productive today. Good for you. Ricardo, I'm in bed right now. Hey, Mary. Anastasia says, stay hydrated, tribe. Yes, absolutely. I got my hydration right here. Oh, being joined by one of the cats. Can't tell who right now. Angie says, I've been productive the last 2 days and slept well also. Oh, it's Sugar Cat. Oh my goodness. Did you hear her meow? It's kind of a croaky meow. You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi to the tribe? Come here, baby. Oh my goodness. There's my little girl. The tribe is up there. Let them see your little face, baby pet. Aw, she's such a sweetheart. My little cats make life richer and sweeter. Here you go, baby. Now I've inferred. Yeah, I love you too. So, Sylvie says lots of anxiety and dizziness. Hopefully you'll feel better if you hang out with us to the end of this. We'll do the heart-brain coherence meditation. Ekaterina, all high energy today. Cool? Karma, hi Sugar Cat. That's what she said. Yeah. Oh, wish you could see her. Becky says, head and teeth pain. Ouch. Lorna, I came on to check your post because I have a cough. Hold on, I can only see so much. There we go. Because I have a cough, I'm in a MCAS flare. I don't know what that is. Chronic pain, exhausted, suddenly emotional. I'm an autistic empath. Bless your heart. You've got stuff, I don't even know what that stands for. I'm guessing it's an autoimmune disorder, but I don't know what it is. So this has triggered stuff in you, Lorna. Hope you will feel better soon. Stay if you can to the end, and we'll do the heart brain coherence meditation together, and amazing things can happen. Anne says, hey there, been productive and intuitive and feel refreshed. Good. Laura and everyone in the house took a nap today, and I haven't napped in years, she said. Well, I'm glad to find another napper besides me. Isn't that right, Sugar? Yeah. Sugar napped. Hey, Carolyn. Carolyn Huckabee says, hi, Sugar Cat. Oh, you want to see her face? She's so cute. Okay. Jane says, crazy ringing tones and left ear high pitch, even now, very emotional. I've been very emotional for days, though. I had a frequency in my left ear that was kind of overwhelming earlier. It's happened several times in my life, but it happened today. It was loud and very steady and strong, and then it passed and let up. Okay, Kelly says, trying to get to let me see the rest of what you're saying here. Well, there we go. I find myself reflecting on friends and family who have crossed over. Seem like I am getting happy reminders of their love. I relate to that too, Kelly. I have been having a lot of memories, and I have been remembering dear friends who have crossed over too. The last 6 years have been tough where that goes. I've lost about 27 friends that were not just acquaintances. Some I'm very, very close. I know that's happened with others. This has been a really unique and challenging time. Irina, greetings from Poland. Hello there. Greetings back to Poland. So glad to see you here. Some of our international tribe is here. Fiona, what does the jump in timeline mean, please? When I use terms like that, I want y'all to just stop a minute and think, what would that mean? Just based on the words. Timeline shift or jump. There have been TV shows about people who jump timelines and stuff. Well, let's see here. See if I can do some kind of very cheesy drawing for you to help with this. Some people believe that time is like parallel lines, all lined up like that. So if you have it's probably not the case, by the way, but if you have a timeline jump, let's say you're living on this timeline right here. This is your world and your life right now. During certain frequencies, when a black spike appears, we have found this is indicative of timeline shifts or jumps, and people experience them and see the changes, and some of them are very, very radical. So in a timeline jump, if there's a black spike, certain frequencies occur, some sort of unusual energetic reset, you might find yourself on this timeline now. And how in the world do you understand that? I don't know how you understand it, but it means to literally jump from one timeline to the next. People believe that these are running all at the same time. Okay? That while we're living this particular timeline, there are other timelines happening right now, and there may be other versions of you in those other timelines. As crazy as that sounds, that's what scientists say, as well as other thinkers and such. You know, Einstein said time is relative and it changes. If you're in a train going very fast, time seems to pass slower for you than if you were walking down the same road that the train was running next to. Our perception of time changes. This is what they think time is really like. They think it does this kind of a thing. And imagine this is a flat ribbony type thing. So when you come out to something like this, now and then the timeline will maybe run closer, like this one here at the top, and you can just jump from here to there by frequency and find yourself in a different timeline. I've lost many of the videos I had. I didn't think about saving the videos that were in the featured post at the top of the page. I didn't think Facebook would wipe those out too, but they did. So I'm going to have to do some more videos talking about timeline shifts and so forth. But since we're here, for anyone who's just showing up or you have to go or whatever, bottom line, we are in extremely high frequencies right now. The energies and the Hertz cycles are really high, with the Schumann resonance showing up very clearly on the Russian Schumann resonance chart. Very unusual, 40 Hertz and above, which that's as high as the chart goes. That is super high for your brain waves, which do tend to correlate with what's happening on the Schumann, and that's one of the reasons we all watch the Schumann resonance, because we know it influences us and those around us. If the Schumann resonance is spiking the Russian one white from top to bottom, stay off the road if you can, because people go crazy in their driving. They may not have a clue what's going on with them, but they many times are being influenced. And the brain's quickest pathway is anger. Anger. And that is what might show up on the road, and you don't want to be there for that. Everybody, hydrate! I'm going to take a little drink right now. Hold on a minute. I lost a little time in my hydration because I fell asleep for an hour or two. Okay. So we're in super high frequencies right now. Our DNA is being supercharged right now. When the brain has to create new neural pathways, which also happens, Fiona, during timeline jumps, I believe, because it looks like a black spike. It looks like the absence of information. We don't really know what it is. It could, like I've written and I post often in the comments, it could be a breakdown to where the instrument that is measuring was not able to measure it because it spiked so high in frequency and energy. Or it may be that it's an absence, or appears to be an absence, of energy and information and doesn't show up on the chart, or something like that. Or it could just, you could say, well, it's a flaw in the instrumentation. It just freaked out right there. Well, you ask yourself, why did it freak out? Well, there was something wrong, something that went way above or way below the norm. I think it's a type of a reset. And we have seen that while watching the geospace magnetosphere cut planes model, which is an instrument that is shown through NASA and NOAA. And you can see what's hitting the Earth's shields and coming onto the Earth. And we've actually seen the wave come, hit, boom, and then retract and come again as if it didn't even happen the first time. A total reset, like a loop, and I believe we have seen actual timeline shifts when that happened. I'll tell you two of my favorite stories, Fiona, that have to do with timeline shifts and jumps. So, and by the way, I did get to save one of the videos that shows what might be a timeline jump on the geospace magnetosphere cut planes. All my saved videos are on my YouTube channel now. This new YouTube channel I've started. And you can go watch. I have over 50 that I was able to save and preserve. And that's one of them. One of my favorite stories is one of our very own tribe shared one day on the comments that she had some chickens, and one of the chickens died like a month before. And we had this huge timeline shift that was represented in a very wide, thick spike or column on the chart. Well, she didn't know about that, but she went out that morning, and this sounds insane, but here it is. The chicken was back. I thought, wait, this is like huge. So I asked her some very specific questions. I said, you know, I have an inquiring mind. I have to know, how many chickens do you have? I thought, if she has a ton of chickens, she might not, you know, might have imagined that that same chicken was now there if she had like 100 or something. Nope, she had 6 chickens. And the 6th one was the one that had died. In other words, they were like pets to her. I had 5 chickens, and I knew them all. I knew them by sight. They each had names and very clear personalities. I really enjoyed them. And that was the case with our tribe member. And there it was, alive, just like it had never died. She said she was, of course, stunned. And then she went in and looked at my page and saw that we had had this huge timeline shift represented by a big, thick black spike. And she was like, wow. And I'm really glad she was brave enough to share that, because a lot of people wouldn't have shared it because people think you're crazy. People think I'm crazy all the time. I'm used to it. If you don't fit in their little box, you're crazy. No, I'm not crazy, and you're probably not either. So she then, the day before the chicken appeared, she had spent time in her basement, she said, where it was an open rafter sort of thing, you know, the supports of the house, and had a bunch of cobwebs down there in her rough basement. And so she did all this dusting and cleaned up the cobwebs. Well, the day the chicken reappeared, she went into the basement. All the cobwebs were back, just as if she had not cleaned it up the day before. That is an extreme example of a timeline shift jump. She jumped from one timeline to another. And I pondered it a lot. I'm like, how do you think about that? What I believe happened is she shifted to a timeline where the chicken never died. It wasn't that the chicken came back to life. Someone said, well, did she bury the chicken? People were really trying to work through it. She shifted to a timeline where the chicken apparently never died. Therefore, there it was with its friends that morning, ready to be fed breakfast. So I had one I'm going to tell, and I realize people have other things to do. Not all of you are on holiday like we are in America. Or you may have a cookout to go to or something. I like to shop at a grocery store called Publix. And there's one in a nearby town. I'm out in the country, so I have to drive to go anywhere. Each of them are about 30 minutes away from me. Sometimes I go to this one, and sometimes I go to that one. Well, this particular day, I decided to go down to this one. And I don't go to it as often as to the other one. And In the Publix, you walk in the front door and the produce section is to the right. And I walked in the front door and I went to the produce section and I stopped and I stared because the layout was completely different. Publix grocery stores usually are laid out about the same. This looked like a Sam's Club, the way it was laid out. It was very confusing to me. It was long and narrow produce. At the very back was like a rounded section that went out to the right. And I was staring at this, knowing this was not what it looked like when I was in there, you know, a week or two before. And I thought, closed my eyes and thought, okay, am I losing it? And I went over and I looked at the wall that was there that wasn't there like it is. And it looked like it had been there a while. It wasn't new construction from what I could tell. And I was just like, okay, I don't understand this. So I went to a little young girl that was working there and I said, hi there. I said, I have a strange question. By chance, have you all done some remodeling recently? And she said, no, we haven't. I said, oh, okay. It just seemed different to me. She said, well, we did move the oranges from here over to where the apples are. I said, okay, thanks. I just went on. How do you explain something like that? I was boggled. My head, I can't describe. I thought, what just happened? And then I left Publix after I finished my grocery shopping and got in my car and I started driving down a country road. And there's a particular country road that crosses over to a little 2-lane highway that I'd really like driving on. There's this huge Baptist church, which is crazy because it's out in a rural area. There's not that many people even live there, and this massive church is there, and I always got a kick out of that to begin with. But there was a parsonage, or, you know, a house that was built for the pastor. They do that a lot. They'll have the house next to the big church or the little church or whatever. And this particular house was very odd, and I'd always taken note of it. It looked run down. It was like a traditional ranch style house from the 60s probably. And it had a weird trapezoid shaped, diamond shaped fence just stuck in the middle of the yard next to it. Very weird. And I had actually driven over and read it, and it said something about the groundwater was toxic there. And apparently they had fenced off that part of the yard or something so you wouldn't go into it. I don't know. Very odd. Never seen anything like it. And I figured, well, that's why they've abandoned this, you know, house. And I would look at it when I drove by, and I would look at that massive Baptist church in the middle of nowhere, and then I would count 5 houses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to a house that was way off the road that looks like mine. Mine is a 2-story wood frame house on a hill. This one was not on a hill, but it had the full porch built all the way around it with a porch roof. Mine only has partly finished porches and the porch roof. Someday when I have enough money, I will finish all of that. I'll put in baseboards too, someday. At this point, it's sort of unfinished. But I always looked at that house because it was just like mine. My house is a rectangular shape, 2-story, with a porch roof over the lower roof part of the porch. And I was looking and I passed and I was like, 1, 2, 3, there was the house. And I was like, wait, where's the other 2 houses before I get to this one? They were gone. Oh, I didn't tell you the other thing. That particular day when I drove by the rundown parsonage, it looked so nice. It was perfectly updated and kept up, and the funny fence didn't have the sign on it. The fence wasn't weird. It was totally different. And I just was like, oh my gosh, Publix, and now this. Then there were only 3 houses to get to the house I love to look at to see what mine would look like when it finally is finished. And that wasn't all. It was closer to the road, and it was more of a square shape than a rectangle. And I was just like, what is happening? And I got home and I looked at the charts, and there was this massive black spike. I know this is real. And the lady who had the chickens, and the one that all of a sudden was there again, she knows it was real. And many of you have had experiences, maybe not as crazy as those, but that's a timeline spike, shift, jump. Fiona, I hope that helps. We can't really explain it. We just know it happens. And this is happening more and more. It's becoming more and more common, I think. I never even thought of such things. That was something that belonged to science fiction movies, you know, or that Time Sliders TV show, which I only got to see a few times. That's probably not even the right name for it. Karma says, I keep telling my cat I don't like to wear fur. Well, you know, it's just part of it, isn't it, Karma? Sanja, greetings from Serbia. Oh my goodness. Hey, lady. Oh my goodness. Oh, Sugar is back. You heard her name, maybe. It's so nice to see you, Sanja, from Serbia. I love this. Okay, hello, hello. Mimi says, been crispy. And energy feels very statically. I think that's what that is. Happy 4th of July, my family. Drinking my hydrogen water. Stay safe and happy 4th of July. Thank you. I received that. Beth says, feeling pretty good here. I feel good now, but I did take a sudden nap this earlier today. Lorna, MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome. I'm going to have to look that one up. But I hope you get to feeling better very soon, Lorna. Hello, Denise. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. And Carolyn from England. Much love to you too, Carolyn. Connie says, has anyone had itching? I have not today, but I've had it before with energies. And maybe some other folks will see what you've said and respond. That is a common response to high energies. Aaron says also, broke one tooth today. Again, since 6 months, I broke several teeth. Energies are too high, and I'm too sensitive. Bless your heart. Wow. Jennifer says, hold on, med beds are coming. Yes, I hope they get near us soon. Hey, and Fiona is from the UK. Hey, Fiona. All right. Hey, Mitchell. Anne said, Anne Stickney Hawley, good friend of mine. A little anxiety today, and I am not surprised. I bet a lot of folks are feeling a little anxiety with all these super high energies. Sharon says, lost a reflection on past memories for some reason, heart palpitations, and very tired, wanting to take a nap. I hear you. I understand. I'm going to put the chart in the post today. After I finish this, I'll post these images and so forth. Let's see what's happening with the Schumann, the Russian Schumann right now. My goodness. The white out is continuing, you all. Here we go. Look at that. There's the white in the middle. Oh, and there's Sugar Cat. She looked away when I put the camera on her. Look at this. It has continued all the way across. So this has now been going 1, 2, over 3 hours. Look at that. White. The white out, which is the highest energy as far as we know, unless black is higher. And it may be going on down beyond the chart, but it stops right here at 40 hertz. Yep. So it's continuing, beloved. And we have these odd dark spikes running through too, which tells me something else may be going on. Maybe timeline shifts and jumps, and this whited area with all the mingled colors, it's expanded down a little bit. The white's coming down to here now. This is intense. It sure is. And oh, Carolyn says, yes, I've been itching, tired, emotional, sneezing, body pains, and earache. Ouch. You know, I had a lot of aching early when I woke up this morning. And stuff like that, too. Paula Petaway says, love and you, and thank you again. I love you too, Paula. Hey, Patricia Dunhaber. I love you all. I've come to know many of you pretty well. And I recognize many of you. And I sense you in that way that's above our mental capacity. You know, the spirit and heart is capable of so much more. And Carolyn Huckabee says, hi to our Chipper boy. Chipper, where are you? I know Sugar's up here. He was snoozing earlier. So there is a lot going on. And Fiona, I hope that helped you understand the timeline shifts and spikes and jumps. Oh my, Ashley says, just woke up from having a dream from a loved one hugging me, saying that they were from a past life and visiting me, hugging me, telling me that they were with me and I didn't want to let go. Oh my word. Wow. Ashley DeHamish, I think that's how to say your name. That is amazing. That is really amazing. That's precious and priceless. Wow. Karma, biggest hugs from Canada. And Veronica, greetings from Sweden. Greetings and love back at you. Wow. You all, yes, Quantum Leap, Anastasia. That was the name of the TV show. It was one album anyway. That's right. And Paula Petaway says, I heard in my sleep last night, quote, we're activating the M. People all over the world. I woke up and wasn't able to fully understand, but I get it now. The M. That's very interesting. Sounds like lots of people are having spiritual dreams. Inger, love and light from Denmark. Greetings, greetings. Oh, and Pamela says, goodness, I just woke up from a nap and here we are. Love from steamy Wisconsin. Bless you. Go buy a kiddie pool and jump in it. That's what I can say. I got one that's really deep, so I can sit in it and put my arms on the sides, and it has drink holders in it and stuff, and I'm really enjoying it. It's up on my upper deck. Okay. Ringing ears and, oh, saw Chipper behind me, Carolyn? I didn't see him, but that's very, very possible. Okay, y'all. I guess I need to get off of here. We've been on a good while. Let's do the heart brain coherence meditation. I think this will be a huge blessing to a bunch of us. Just kind of shake it down, y'all. Relax, stretch a bit. Do whatever you need to do to be able to just relax and focus at the same time. And this only takes 3 minutes. You put your hand, or both hands, whatever works for you, to bring your attention to your heart area. Just touch that area. Imagine breathing in and out from the heart area. So breathing in and out, and then in and out. Imagine it's coming into your heart area. Then think of something you are very, very grateful for, something that makes you feel gratitude and feel really thankful. I always think of the day of my spiritual awakening, and I think of you all in our tribe. I'm really thankful for our group, that we don't have to be alone as we go through all these very interesting things. You all may think of your pets. I think of Sugar and Chipper too. Whatever makes you feel gratitude, think of that and let yourself feel it. Just let whatever happens come, okay? So that's all we have to do. Breathe in and out. When you think of it, imagine it coming in and out from the heart area instead of just your mouth and your nose. And then yeah, I see you. Okay. Breathing in and out from the heart, thinking of something and letting yourself feel what you're grateful for. And I will let you know when the 3 minutes is up, okay? And let us begin. Thinking about something you're really grateful for. This will activate your superpowers. Help you deal with whatever symptoms may be going on right now. be surprised. Don't be surprised if you experience healing. Something real good might happen to you during this time. You may have epiphanies or revelations. Just keep breathing into the heart and staying in that place where you're thinking of something you're very grateful for. Thank you. Wow. That was strong. Just a little bit longer. It's gone really fast. Now let yourself feel as if something you've been wanting to happen or experience or something you're wanting. Let yourself feel like you already have it. That's already happening. It's already yours. It's in your experience now. And let yourself feel what you would feel like right now, already having that thing. Yes, so be it. All right, you all. Thank you for coming and joining me and being with me and staying with me during this time. And remember, you can come back and do the heart-brain coherence meditation anytime you like for 30 days until Facebook takes this video down. Or you can come over to my YouTube channel, and I'll try and remember to put that in the comments also, where it will hopefully stay and live and have a home there anytime you want to access it. I'll also have my original Heart-Brain Coherence meditation video on my YouTube channel there for you at any time. So Chipper and Sugar and I send our love to you, and we send you blessings, peace, and joy, and strength, and hope, and life, hoping that these amazing photonic light energies coming in today will take you to the very place you need to be, or on the next step up on the ascension. Love you much. See you later.